follow the science. These are the same people who are telling us that men can become pregnant and can breastfeed.
That's wild.
It's time, it's insane. It's time we put facts over feelings.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Facts Over Feelings, where we're here on day 2 of Turning Point USA AmericaFest, and it's been the biggest AmericaFest ever. 20,000 people. It's been electrifying with some of the most incredible patriots and speakers in America, including this young lady right here who's at the top of them all that's been taking the world by storm. I'm excited to have on Riley Gaines. She's a 12-time All-American swimmer, 5-time SEC champion, and one of the most fearless voices advocating for women's rights in sports, known for her unwavering stance against men competing in women's sports. Riley's been a trailblazer, fighting to protect fairness, integrity, and the future of women's athletics. A bold political activist, athlete, and Riley embodies what courage is all about. Welcome to the show today.
That was like the kindest intro ever. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be on with you. It has really been an amazing morning. What an amazing, convention they've got going on here, filled with, like you said, 20,000 God-fearing, American-loving patriots. It's super cool to see the amount of young people here. So it's really just amazing. So thank you for having me and for everything that you do for spreading awareness and spreading the truth. So very appreciative.
I love that. And that's what we do at Facts Over Feelings.
That's
We're
it.
all about the facts, not the feelings.
That's it.
So we're about spreading the truth. And where we like to start is, tell us a little bit about your background and your unique American dream story.
Yeah. So I was a collegiate swimmer, did some awesome things in my career, but I think really what got me in this seat is during my senior year at our national championships, we had to compete against a man. This was a man who quite frankly sucked when competing in his rightful category, the men's division, ranking in the 400s and 500s nationally. To then going on and winning a national title, competing against the women. I just got to really firsthand see the injustice, feel the injustice. I watched girls cry. Girls who placed 9th and 17th and missed out on being named an All-American by one place. I felt the extreme discomfort in the locker room. I heard whispers of anger and frustration from girls who worked their entire lives to be at that meet. And so all of this just really led me to this feeling of responsibility and truthfully a feeling of guilt. I feel guilty in not speaking out because I have a younger sister. I couldn't imagine this happening to her. And so that's kind of what led me to take that initial leap of faith. And since then, about 2 years now, more than really, it's been a whirlwind, going some amazing places, having a pretty big platform, over, millions of followers, all for saying men and women are different. Totally crazy stuff, but having real impact, and definitely never where I saw myself, but taking it day by day.
I love that. And I think there's so many people out there that are maybe in that same place of fear, and they have a voice, but they don't know how to express it. So I guess, pun intended, what was your turning point that got you to decide, you know what, I'm going to step on the other side of fear, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be the voice. I'm going to speak up for other women that don't feel like they can do so themselves.
The moment specifically was when this man and I raced each other, and we dive in, we swam 8 laps of freestyle, and we touched the wall at the end, and almost impossibly enough, we had gone the exact same time, meaning that we had tied. But despite tying, the NCAA told me that I didn't get the trophy. The trophy went to Lia Thomas, who was going as the name Lia Thomas.
Which that had to be devastating at the time.
Yeah, and their justification was it was necessary when photos were being taken. And so that was the pivotal point for me. But I think in answering the question of really what gave me that security blanket, number one is my faith. That's central to me, to everything that I do, to how I conduct myself, to how I live my life. That's given me all the reassurance that I need, knowing that we have an audience of one and nothing of this world matters. But I've got a wonderful family, and honestly, playing sports, that's a large part in what I credit my leadership and my ability to set goals and work to achieve those goals, all things I'm using in my life now. So that's me encouraging every young person, every person in general actually, to play sports it sets you up for success.
No, I love that. And I think a lot of times when you first go to speak up, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, am I going to have people to stand behind me and support me? So how has your advocacy, I guess, changed your relationship in the sports community?
You know what? It's pretty remarkable because I was so nervous that I was going to be ostracized, that I was going to lose all my friends, that no one would want to talk to me. But that's absolutely not what happened at all. What I found in taking the stand that I have is I've only really developed friendships. People who come to me most of the time in private, in secrecy, whether that's through direct message or behind closed doors or through whispers on the street, and they say, thank you for doing what you do. I really haven't had, especially in the athletic community, hardly any pushback, because whether you're Democrat, someone who calls yourself a lifelong liberal, or you're a staunch conservative, what I have found on this issue in particular is that doesn't matter. Because we recognize we work hard to get to where we were, and we don't want to have the rug pulled out from under us. So in reality, the media paints this issue as a divisive one. What I have found in my day-to-day life is really this issue, the issue of men and women's sports. It's really become a unifying issue, and we saw that on the.
No, I love that. And I think, probably over the last 4 years, especially in the prior administration, it was an uphill battle. But then all of a sudden November 6th came and it was like everybody could breathe a little bit easier.
The pillow felt better at night.
What are you most hopeful for when the light flips on January 20th? Of how that's actually going to propel your advocacy out there?
There's a lot that I'm hopeful for. Number one, it feels timely given what we saw this week with NCAA President Charlie Baker testifying before the Senate. I'm excited for some accountability, holding these unelected bureaucrats accountable, whether that's the NCAA, whether that's these academic institutions, whether that's corporate America. I think the American people are desperate for accountability, and that is coming on January 20th. I'm excited to see legislation introduced to, of course, prevent men from competing in women's sports at the federal level. Withholding federal funds from any school that chooses to embrace this insanity. Helping the Trump administration pass a piece of legislation that codifies and defines the word woman. I can't even believe we have to do that. So that's of course a priority of mine. Also, the Olympics are going to be in the United States in 2028 under Trump's presidency. And so working with the IOC and the Trump administration to make sure what we saw at the last Olympics, if you can remember, in women's boxing, nonetheless, where 2 men were awarded Olympic women's gold medals, making sure that never happens on U.S.
No, awesome. And I know you got some limited time here today, too. So one of the final questions before we ask, or the final question, what Facts Over Feelings means to you. If you had the power to have an executive pen like the president does, and you could do one executive order, whatever that might be, that would sum up your legacy when you're long and gone, that's going to shape and shift America as we know it, what would that one thing be?
We've seen this in many states, and it's something I've worked on. It's actually been passed in 8 states now, and it's what I was just describing of codifying sex-based terms, like woman, like man, like male, like female, mother, father, girl, boy. Again, defining gender identity and sex itself, because we've seen these people conflate the two. They're not the same. So I think that's what I would love to see on day one. And I think it's an embodiment of the fight that I have fought, of this feminist movement that has really totally become regressive and has undermined everything they once fought for, because, they're the ones at the forefront of dismantling women's rights. So I think that would be a good depiction of me and what I fought for over the past few years and what I will continue to fight for.
No, well, I love that. And I guess last but not least, what does Facts Over Feelings mean to you?
It means this is like the embodiment, truthfully, of the gender ideology movement as a whole. We have put, in the case of, again, I'll use my own personal experience here, the feelings of one man over the safety, over the well-being, over the privacy, over the opportunities of every single woman. So facts over feelings, it's not just a silly little saying or this cliche saying. It's reality, I think, at this point. And so it means everything to me, and it's due time that we put facts over feelings again. We had so many people for so long, follow the science. These are the same people who are telling us that men can become pregnant and can breastfeed.
That's wild.
It's time, yeah, it's insane. It's time we put facts over feelings.
No, well, I love it. Well, thank you for being the patriot that you are, the world changer, the world shaker that you are, and all the best of luck. And thank you for joining us on a micro episode of Facts Over Feelings. And thank you for listening in to another episode of Facts Over Feelings at Turning Point USA AmericaFest with the one and only Riley Gaines.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
thank you. I
it.
appreciate
Yes.
you. Appreciate your time.
Yes. No, this is awesome.